What I'll also tell you is that Agent Mulder has developed a consuming devotion to an unassigned project outside the Bureau mainstream. Are you familiar with the so-called X-Files?
Welcome everybody to the Dark Talk Files. I'm your host, the cigarette-smoking Dan, and I'm joined by my co-host, Paul Spooky McLaughlin. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm good, cheers. How are you?
I'm good. Cool.
Yeah,
so this is our little side project. We got together, we thought we really want to record more content each week, and we racked our brains what we could cover, and we were sort of sick of covering really crap, low-budget horror films from the 2000s, so we opted to get back into the X-Files, because it's something we've both wanted to rewatch for a long time, and we decided the best way to do it would be to through the medium of podcasting.
Yeah.
So, Paul, you and me, big fans of the X-Files.
Yeah, big time.
Tell me about it. I mean, growing up at our age, you can't have missed the X-Files at all, so tell me about your sort of personal history with the X-Files before we get into things. So,
first of all, the X-Files is possibly it's my number 2 show of all time, only second to Twin Peaks. It is like they're almost even for me, because X-Files, just like, there's something in the X-Files when I watch it that I just feel that I don't get from anything else. Like, I don't know whether it's the 90s aesthetic, the just like, supernatural stuff like aliens, like it probably comes from being a kid in the 90s and watching it on a Sunday evening, and Definitely. Just like it was fucking everywhere, wasn't it? I mean, we had like the theme tune came out in the charts. There was a dance theme tune. There was that Catatonia song. It was in The Simpsons. I mean, it was inescapable, but like in a good way. Yeah. And it's so comforting when I watch it. Like I can almost taste and smell like what's happening in it when I look at it. Oh, I love it. It is one of my favorites, and I've wanted to rewatch it all the way through for ages, and I usually get to about season 3 and meander off onto something else, but I'm so fucking ready for this.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll be cracking the whip. I'll be there every Sunday night poking you with a stick saying, have you done your homework? Have you watched the X-Files? Oh, I don't want to watch the fucking X-Files. What are Twin Peaks?
No, the only thing
you'll be sick of this.
I absolutely will not. The only thing that I'm worried about is getting too far ahead of myself and watching too much, because I watched episode 1 last night, and we talked about doing multiple episodes per recording, but my brain doesn't work that way. I would mix the two up and stuff, so I think one at a time will suit me more. But I wanted to watch episode 2, and I wanted to keep going last night, so I'm so happy to do this. It's great.
You must show restraint, Grasshopper.
Fuck you.
I was going to watch. The idea was to save a bit of time, record 2 episodes in one recording session. But I'm quite glad I didn't, because it allowed me to focus more on this episode as a whole. Really, and I think I'd have been like you. I would have gotten confused and conflated a lot. So I'm glad we're just doing one at a time, and I think I'll appreciate it more, because it's like we're in the 90s watching it if we just do one a week.
Hell yeah.
My story with the X-Files, I didn't really see it that much growing up, so it was because we didn't have Sky at my house, so we couldn't watch it. So I had to just find out what happened when I came to school the next day, and I was told, see the X-Files, Scully went up in the big spaceship, and Mulder's looking for her and she's gone, and I was like, oh fuck. But there were there were a few things that really, really got me into it. So I had this X-Files sort of best of season 1 and 2. It had to have been season 2 because Krychek was in it. VHS, where it had like a segment on some of the episodes, important episodes. Then it had like segment on all the characters. So you'd have like a little profile of Skinner. Well, Mulder, Scully, then Skinner, Krychek, we're calling the cigarette smoking man these days, but back then it was like the cancer man. I was like, Jesus Christ, all that sort of stuff. And so that was the first thing that really, I was like, oh god, this video is amazing. I must have watched it 100 times. The second thing was I had like an X-Files, like a hardback. It was like an annual, but it wasn't an annual. It was like a it was like a production book, and it was too much for a kid to understand and read, but like some of the pictures in it, and it had episode synopsises, and the font was all that, like that Courier New typed font, the X-Files font, basically. And I thought, God, this is so cool. So cool. And the third thing was when I got older, I'd say the show was like the most popular thing on earth, was the video game for the PlayStation 1. I think it came out about 98, 99. Around the same time the film came out. Yeah, it was like a first-person Broken Sword style puzzle game where you played as this FBI agent who was trying to track down Mulder and Scully who'd gone missing, and it was so hard to play. It was so difficult. I didn't get like very far in it, but it was just great to like play the game. And it was really like a snapshot time. So those are the three things that really got me into the X-Files, as well as like Schoolyard Talk.
Yeah. Do you know what? My knowledge of the X-Files is nowhere near as good as yours. I haven't watched it properly. I mean, like, as I said, I've started watching it multiple times over the last 10 years or whatever, but really my knowledge of it isn't that great. Like, I remember most of the things that happened, but I don't remember character names and all that kind of stuff, you know. Compared to, like, say, Twin Peaks or many other TV shows, that my knowledge of it isn't that vast, to be honest.
I wouldn't say I have a deep knowledge of it. My last full watch through of this was I had a big watch of it in about 2014 because I borrowed this incredible box set with every episode from a friend, and I got about halfway through season 5, season 6. And before I sort of abandoned it. Then I'd say about 3-4 years ago I tried again because it was all on Disney Plus. And I got to about the same sort of point, and then life takes over and you forget these things. So sort of abandoned it that time. But so looking forward to getting through the whole thing, and this would be God, this is going to take us years.
We should.
But I'm here for it.
We should record one a day, and then it'll only take us like 218 days to do.
So with the X-Files, this was pretty much the launching pad for the two leads, David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, who have it's great for them because they've both gone on to do other things since the show finished, whereas this could have just been like, I know it's a huge phenomenon, it could have been a career killer, but these days Gillian Anderson is in absolutely everything you watch. David Duchovny was in Californication. Do you remember that? He's done a lot.
I only watched one episode of that. I don't know. I wasn't really into it at the time, but I might go back to it at some point.
Yeah, Gillian Anderson is. She's been in, like I said, been in absolutely everything. She's in The Fall on. It's like that Irish serial killer.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's like the lead in that. She's in The Last King of Scotland.
Was she? Is that the one?
According to this, and she's
Forrest Whitaker. No.
Yeah, and she's a regular in Hannibal, according to this, and
she is
American Gods. Oh.
American Gods. Oh my god, I watched American Gods. It took me like 3 episodes to realize it was her because she wears a different like in each scene she wears like a different kind of mainstream idol kind of costume. So she's like Marilyn Monroe, and then she's David Bowie. And I didn't realize it was her.
Right. So she's one of the new gods. Yeah. I've never seen that show, but I've got the book. I read the book about 20 years ago, and I thought, oh, God, this is something else to me.
Season 1's really good. I think I did. I don't even know if I got through season 2, but I would like to go back to that. But there's just so much to fucking watch all the time.
It's hard, isn't it? So, even trying to find time to do one episode of the X-Files a week is like, it's good, like really crack into my schedule. But but we'll do it. Right, so let's like sort of get into like the aesthetic and the background of the X-Files as much as we can. I don't know too much about it, but it was created by Chris Carter, sort of tapping into that. It's hard to explain. I couldn't really call him tapping into that UFO zeitgeist of the 90s, because I think the X-Files is partly what created it. It's like that whole conspiracy theory, don't trust the government, they're hiding shit from you. It seems to like almost began in the 90s. I can't really think of much like UFO stuff from the 80s. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, you had there was a lot of UFO like real life stuff. You had Fire in the Sky, which came out in 93 as well, but that was based on a book, which was based on a supposed true story. So there were quite a lot of things like UFOs, and the world was pretty mesmerized by aliens at this point anyway, weren't they? So X-Files just boosted that shit straight into the stratosphere.
Yeah, I think as well you've got like this starts in the early 90s. You've also got like the end of the Cold War as well. So Russia isn't the enemy anymore.
Yeah.
You can't look over to the east for conspiracies and mad shit like that. So you've got to start looking inwards at your own governments. How shady they are, and then combine that with UFOs and aliens and things like that. You've just got this like perfect storm of like it's just the perfect storm. It all just comes together so well because this is responsible for, in my mind, for TV shows like Sightings and that used to be on Sky One. Like Unsolved Mysteries would have UFO segments and cool shit like that. So it's a really great time that I love this like early to mid 90s aesthetic. I absolutely love it.
I love it, man. If it wasn't for Twin Peaks, we wouldn't have X-Files. It is.
No, possibly not.
Completely influenced by it. Like it's the Blue Rose part of Twin Peaks, which is like the potentially aliens part of Twin Peaks, which basically created the idea for not entirely. Like I imagine it might have, something if that hadn't have happened. But also David Duchovny's in Twin Peaks, isn't he?
Yeah, he's that. Is he the cross-dressing agent? Have I got that right?
The trans.
Is he actually trans? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like
I have not seen the bits with him, and I thought he was like a cross-dresser or a drag queen. I didn't realize he was fully transgendered.
Well, the part of the story is that he went undercover as a woman, and it just felt right. Yeah. So they decided to remain in that lifestyle. Yeah. And it's so good. I know this isn't about Twin Peaks, but it's just so good the way Cooper treats her, and Cooper's just like, sound, carry on. And like all of them do as well, and it's just fucking great. I love it. Yeah, it's so good.
Very progressive for the time.
Great. Oh fucking hell yeah! Like 1991, crazy. Yeah. Anyway,
I'd say a lot of this pilot episode reminds me of Twin Peaks as well because they are in Oregon, which is like the Pacific Northwest, which is kind of where Twin Peaks is set as well. All that like big redwood and like constant rain.
Yeah,
I got a lot of Twin Peaks vibes from the town that they visit in this episode. Which was,
definitely.
That like you, that made me feel comforted. It was comforting to me to watch.
God, yeah. Do you know what? I drove past a big lorry with giant tree trunks on it. What are they called? Yesterday, and I get this feeling every time I do see one of those, and I don't get the Final Destination 2 feeling. I get the Twin Peaks feeling. So I like it.
Yeah, because we live in. Well, Paul, you live in the city, but I live in... We grew up around rural North Wales, so when it rains here in like the autumn or the spring, it's very much reminds me of Twin Peaks, the vibes, because it's quite isolated. It's quite an isolated place. It's not a very big place, but there are places where it's like you won't see anybody for fucking hours if you're hiking, and there are places where nobody ever goes, and it's
there's a hell of a lot of countryside. There's mountains, forests, and
to anybody listening from the US, they're gonna be laughing at this. Oh, yeah, very isolated, yeah. But...
yeah, that's true. That's true.
So let's get into the episode then. So this is the pilot episode of the X-Files, which first aired on the 10th of September 1993. So it opens up with a I love these disclaimers, based on a true story, but no, it's the following story is inspired by actual events. Now I don't know what actual events inspired this fucking insanity, but yeah, I love it. I love it when a program or a film tries to trick the audience into believing things are based on an actual events.
Well, apparently, if they word it correctly, they can't get sued for it. So, inspired by true events. So, like the true event could have been there was a man and woman go through a forest, and that's we've taken that and we're adding aliens to it. So, like, it's not based on true story. It's inspired by.
Yeah, it's a good way to get around the technicalities and legalities.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting it, but cold open with the logo, no theme.
Oh my god, yeah. I remembered that before it started. I was like, yeah, god, this doesn't have a theme. You see that a lot with pilots though, don't you? And like not so much the lack of theme, but like something slightly off. You get what I mean without me giving you an example.
There's a whole trope dedicated to it. It's called early installment weirdness. It's where the show it hasn't got into its groove yet. It doesn't have all the things that make it the show that as we come to know it. So they were throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. Kind of like our first episodes on Halloween 1, 2, 3.
yeah. And then eventually
don't go back and listen to those episodes. So we cold open to a woman running through the Column National Forest, the text tells us, which is in Oregon. I looked it up. It's not a real place. The first search result took me to the X-Files Wikia page. Yeah, so that forest has got its own Wikia page on the X-Files Wikia.
Well, sorry to interrupt once more, but it's all shot in Canada, isn't it? No. Vancouver.
Yeah, like a lot of these shows are. So one show that I think there's like tax breaks. You get a tax break.
Yeah.
For filming in Vancouver and Seattle, like all up that area. It's why a lot of we're going to cover this on our main series when we get to it. Jason Takes Manhattan. Most of that was shot in Vancouver or Seattle. There's like one scene which is like the Times Square scene, and that's it's. I think there were a lot of tax breaks for film crews, incentives to film there. Another place that used to use that a lot was Highlander, the TV series, used to film in Seattle and Vancouver. Yeah. So much so, the city that Duncan MacLeod lives in that show was nicknamed by the fans Seacouver. And you think about it, that's probably why they moved Frasier over to Seattle, isn't it?
Did they? I didn't
When
know
they
that.
ended Cheers. Yeah, well, Frasier was in Cheers, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And Frasier, the show itself, is in Seattle.
I didn't know that. I haven't watched it enough to like really know.
Yeah, so there's the woman is running through the national forest, and we get these lovely UFO sort of tropes of bright lights and wind, and this weird-looking man approaches her in this like tornado of leaves, and as he approaches her, stands over her body, the light just reaches this absolute zenith, like flashes the whole screen to white, and when we come back, he's gone, and the lady is lying there dead. Very very typical UFO archetype. What's the word? Archetype, like stereotypical UFO encounter here.
Would you have said that before the X-Files, though? Or did the X-Files bring out the stereotypical...
Yeah, see, this is what I'm thinking. Like, how much of this am I going to watch now? And I'm going to be thinking, oh, God, that's bloody... how typical's that? But then, like, a lot of it comes from the X-Files. He's the first to do it in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So we come back to the two cops who were attending the scene, attending to the dead body, and they find two suspicious-looking marks on her back, and they positively ID the body as Karen Swenson, who is a high school student, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
And the detectives seem to think that this has happened before, so we're treated to it's happening again, it can't be happening again, from dramatic acting from one of them. And so that's our crime cold open. So we go to Washington, D.C., to FBI HQ, and we are introduced to one of our two main protagonists, FBI agent Dana Scully, who is an FBI agent and a doctor, but she chooses not to practice. She's an absolute high flyer, top of the class, recruited straight from the medical school into the bureau as a way to sort of stick it to her parents. Partly, they say, because the parents wanted to be a doctor, but she decides to be an FBI agent.
Yeah.
And Scully is assigned by Section Chief Blevins. Now, remember him. He'll come back into it later in the series. But this is the first time we see him, and the last time for a bit, I think, to partner with another FBI agent, Agent Fox Mulder, who is another... Sorry, I've got thigh flyer written down here. High flyer. Mulder is another high flyer who is Oxford educated, and he's another sort of super agent that captured a serial killer called Monty Props back in the 80s. So I guess he's sort of based on Will Graham from Red Dragon and the far superior Manhunter.
Well, now that you mention it,
Mulder's
you know that Scully was based on Clarice Starling.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I got I should have written that down. I got the Graham connection. Yeah, I didn't get the Scully, Clarice Starling.
They she was the main pick for the play Clarice in Hannibal as well, when Jodie Foster dropped out.
Oh, but they went with what's her name?
Julia.
What's that woman called?
Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore.
However, they didn't just go with her. They couldn't choose Gillian Anderson because she had something in her contract saying that she couldn't portray another FBI agent in any other media.
Okay.
So basically, they wanted her,
and
but they
couldn't. I think the X-Files was still on air when Hannibal was made. Well, definitely when it was released. Yeah, so that sort of makes sense. Yeah, and I kind of get that. I mean, I kind of. If you're running like the biggest show in the world at the time, you don't want your top actor to go and play like the same role in a film outside of your franchise. So I sort of get that. And I think they sort of made the right choice to go with Julianne Moore. Well, they definitely made the right choice to replace Jodie Foster, because I think she's one of the worst actresses.
Really?
I've just never got the love for her. Never. Yeah, so all of Mulder's incredible success in the FBI means nothing to him, though, because the fact that he's regarded as like a super agent and he's made friends in Congress with all the good work, the actual crime-fighting work that he's actually done, it sort of led him to have an amount of freedom to do pretty much whatever he wants in the FBI. And what he wants to do is study the X-Files, baby.
Yeah.
Paul, tell me what the X-Files are within the universe of the TV show, The X-Files.
So the X-Files are paranormal or unexplainable cases that they've kind of given up on, basically. Am I right with this? That years ago it used to be section Y, but Y overflowed into X. No, I'm wrong there. Wait there. I'm doing the alphabet in my head now. They're in the W file, and then they overflowed into the X, apparently. I don't know. No, I must have dreamt that.
No, I think what it is the fact that a lot of these files, they didn't have anywhere to put these cases, and they didn't have that many files under X.
Yeah.
There aren't that many names that begin with X, so they just dumped all this paranormal shit into under X, and that's where it all is.
Yeah. I'm just getting
just sat there for like decades until Mulder got his paws on him.
Right. Oh, here you go. All right. The name X-Files originates from a storage system used at the FBI where the unsolved and unusual cases, particularly those involving paranormal or supernatural elements, were filed under the letter X due to the lack of space in the U unsolved file cabinet.
Ah, there you go. That's right. You were right.
I was right, but I just fucked up the explanation.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I shouldn't be so hard on myself.
No, you shouldn't. You're right. So Scully's meeting with her superiors, and she's basically told to spy on Mulder, write reports on him, what he's doing, and basically, if she can, is to debunk his X-Files, because these guys want the X-Files closed, and it's sort of portrayed as the X-Files are a bit of an embarrassment to the Bureau. Mulder's a bit of embarrassment. They just want it closed for like image reasons. But as we will learn, almost all the superiors in this room belong to the conspiracy of aliens, as we'll get into. But yeah, for now, the story is that they just want it closed for the sake of it. So also in the room with Blevins is the cigarette smoking man. He will become we'll talk about him later, but yeah, keep an eye on that guy that's constantly chain smoking. So Scully goes to Mulder's basement office, which is just fucking great. I love this. Pictures of like aliens and UFOs and like skulls on the wall, and it looks like that conspiracy thing, that picture, the meme of the conspiracy guy.
It looks like your old flat, actually.
Yeah, just all this shit's just everywhere. Tables with like fucking, oh god, yeah.
What else do we have in there that's really fucking famous?
Oh god, there's something I would have killed to have had when I was a kid. The I Want to Believe poster, which is fucking iconic. Another iconic part of the show.
I have still got that somewhere. I don't think my missus would let me have it up in here though, because she's got her own aesthetic thing going on, and I don't think it would match. So. Yeah,
you've got a very minimalist aesthetic, actually.
Yeah, imagine a massive "I Want to Believe" poster with a UFO on it in the middle of all this like Art Deco shit.
So yeah, Mulder is investigating the murdered woman from the beginning, from the cold open, whose case has been deemed unsolvable and has landed in the X-Files. Ran tests on the body and found a chemical in the body, which was also found on two similar bodies at extreme ends of the country, like one's in Texas and one's in like Minnesota, which are like thousands of miles apart. So they decide to investigate, so off they fly to Oregon. And on the plane, we get this small little character building moment when the plane experiences some mad turbulence as they're coming into land, and it's shaking and everyone's panicking and crying. And then Mulder's just lying there across 3 seats, just chilling with his headphones in, just like, I don't know what the hell he would have been listening to. But, he's unflappable. Everyone else is panicking, but yeah, it sort of builds his character, like he's not scared of any of this shit. He's
like excited by this kind of thing, isn't he? Because he knows.
Yeah.
Well, or he believes that, because that's just like another thing to get him believing in weird shit going on in this specific area, which matches this episode.
You can tell he was praying for a UFO to just come in and just take the plane away. Yeah, we get a lot of his quirky moments in this, because the next one is they're driving to the town and they get some just sort of random sort of interference on the car radio, and Mulder instantly pulls over, jumps out of the car, and gets into the boot of the car, pulls out this can of spray paint and just paints this big red X on the road, marking it for later. And Scully's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'll tell you later." But the radio went funny, so I had to just mark where it happened. okay, right, all right.
Do you know what though? Right, like Scully, you can see her like getting slightly excited by all this kind of stuff. she. It's like she's never met anyone with any charisma or any quirks, and he is just like, taking her by storm. And she's just like, fucking hell, who is this guy, this hunky, nerdy guy?
I wouldn't really call him hunky. I think he's more of an oddball. I think is.
But he's a good-looking dude. He's like 6 foot.
Oh yeah.
4 and 6'2". I don't know. He's like a foot taller than Gillian Anderson, anyway.
When I was looking at him on screen, I thought, I do not remember this height difference between the two of them.
No.
So I googled it last night, and I found some like production stills of when they're talking to each other, and Gillian Anderson is stood on a phone book when she's talking to give her like an extra 3 inches.
Yeah.
So they arrive at this beautiful Oregon town, which was giving me like real Twin Peaks Halloween 3 vibes, and I just wish I lived there so I could just fish all day. It looked great. Yeah. So they decide they're going to exhume the bodies of the previous victims, but the first victim that they dig up is Ray Soames, who is a high school student who admitted to the killing of the first 2 victims, but I think it's sort of played off as like it was like a false confession, like he didn't really do it. I think they sort of play it off as. The coffin falls out the crane, and inside the coffin is this fucking, like, what was this? It's like, is it an alien corpse? I was like, it reminded me of, that scene in The Omen where they travel to the graveyard where Damien's birth mother's coffin is. Yeah. And they dig up the coffin to see what his mother looked like, and there's a fucking jackal inside the coffin, like a jackal skeleton. And that used to scare the shit out of me when I watched The Omen. It's fucking. So when I was watching this, I had the same vibes. I thought, fucking hell, I think it's really spooky if you open a coffin and either the body's not in there or there's something else in there instead. I find that shit really scary.
I think we're meant to believe straight away that it's an alien because it's small. Obviously, it's grey, but that's probably because of decomposition. But it's small. It's got a big head, and it looks like it's got multiple eyes or just weird eyes.
I thought it had like facial injury. It looks like someone bashed its head in. The head's like sort of flat looking.
Well, Scully believes that it's an orangutan or some kind of ape, but we do find out later what it actually is and why it looks like that.
I was quite surprised they didn't pull any punches because I was expecting not to see any aliens. I thought they were going to be more subtle with it at first, and then nope, first they this coffin open, alien body.
I mean, like it's showing you that it isn't. It's not an alien though, is it?
I think they leave it sort of ambiguous, don't they? So we'll get to it. So Scully is trying to do an autopsy on it, and Mulder is just twatting around with this camera like he's Jake fucking Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler. Like he's right up in her face with this camera, and she's trying to concentrate. Like she's like trying to concentrate and dictate everything, and he's like snap, and he's getting so excited. He's like a hysterical kid. He's like, God, this could change the world, Scully. Don't you realise what this could do? And she's like, just Mulder. It's like it's a monkey or an ape. Fuck off with it. I thought this was really funny watching him just like be this just weird dude who's just got no concept of like manners, basically. Not so much manners, but you know what I mean? Like, just fucking now is not the time or the place, Mulder.
He is a man who is full of all this kind of stuff. He has, like, no social awareness. He doesn't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. He is just on his own path. And that's why I love him so much.
Great. They do a lot to establish Mulder's character in this. I think this episode for me was more about Mulder than Scully. So Scully finds this metallic implant in the nasal cavity of the alien/monkey, and they wonder what it is. So they go to visit Ray Soames' doctor, and he says that he's treating 2 others they've all got similar conditions, basically. So we meet Billy Miles, who is in a waking coma after a car crash with his girlfriend Peggy, and Peggy has been confined to a wheelchair due to her injuries. Both of these 2 have the same marks as the woman from the start. They try to speak to Billy and Peggy, but Peggy kicks off and she has a nosebleed, and this is when they both notice these marks, and Scully sort of kicks off to Mulder about it. She's like, Mulder, how did you know those marks would be there? And Mulder's just like, instead of like sort of playing it subtly or anything like that, he literally just says, like admits to her, I am a UFO enthusiast. I believe all these children have been kidnapped and experimented on, and why have you got a different hat on every time you put the conversation back on?
I was waiting for you to notice this is the fourth different hat I've
I wasn't going to say anything, but I was like, no, I'm just. You've had a baseball cap, a beanie, and now you're wearing a straw Panama hat.
I had two different beanies. I thought it's the X-Files. It's spooky. I thought I might like try and trick you into thinking that there's something spooky going on.
Fuck's sake.
Sick hat though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I got it for my
looks
holiday.
like a Wyatt family hat.
Oh, right, now I can concentrate.
Yes.
Instead of
Yeah, so Mulder pretty much admits that he's a UFO hunter. What do you think of Mulder just coming straight out and admitting that, yeah, everything is aliens, nothing is real?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, because it's like, as we already said, like, he doesn't give a shit. And he thinks that she is like a mole anyway, doesn't he? He thinks that she's there to spy on him and to possibly, like, in his mind, even murder him or something, you know? Because he is paranoid and he only trusts himself, and it rules. Like, why wouldn't he just come out with it? Because he's so enthusiastic.
He knows that everyone already thinks he's fucking weird anyway. So
yeah, he's very spooky.
If I was Scully and I'd been assigned to this guy, and with her credentials, and she's like looking to make a serious career as an FBI doctor, and she's been like placed with this fucking alien enthusiast nutter, I would just hop back on the first plane to DC, and I would tell him, I'm not working with this weird fucking dude. I don't care. Fire me. I'll go and work as a doctor. I'm trained. You can fuck off. I put my foot down, basically. Because she's sort of like, not that she's got a stick up her ass, but you know what I mean. She's like a serious, career-minded, straight down the line, solve crimes sort of woman. And she's fucking chasing aliens in the middle of the forest with this fucking mad outcast.
This crazy Ralph type guy.
So they're out in the forest together looking for clues at the murder site, and Scully sees the same lights in the forest from the opening, and a strange man emerges wielding a shotgun, and he warns them both off, and turns out the strange lights are just the floodlights from his truck. He is with the sheriff department, and he threatens to arrest them unless they fuck off. And I've just written down, this is a jurisdictional nightmare. Like, it was playing havoc with me. I was like, who's in charge? Because sheriffs are like elected officials. Did they outrank the FBI? I was getting very triggered by watching this. I was like, oh no, I don't even know who's in charge here. Because at first I was like, they're the FBI. You can't boss them around. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, oh no, maybe he can. He's a sheriff. So Scully has taken a sample of brown powder that she found in the woods, and she explains that she believes that the kids are involved in a cult, which is quite an out there accusation to make, but it's not as fucking mental as them all being abducted by UFOs, is it? It
is out there. But you know what else is out there? The truth.
Mulder notices that his compass is playing up, and he checks the time, and it's 9:03. There's a flash of light, and the car comes to a halt. When Mulder checks his watch, he realises that it's now 9:12. So they lost 9 minutes because it was 9:03 when he checked. And they've conveniently landed on the X that he spray painted in the road earlier. And Mulder is, again, like a kid in a candy store. He's like, yes, Scully, woo, missing time, baby. He's like, alien corpse, missing time, turbulence on the plane, hell yeah. He's playing fucking UFO bingo.
I was going to bring up, do you remember a few years ago, you sent me a message, like in the middle of the day, and you were like, I've just lost time.
Yeah, I was thinking about this.
Please explain it to me. And then... You did. So why don't you tell us about it?
I was commuting back from where I live to where my daughter lives, which is it's roughly just under an hour's drive. But I was listening to a podcast, which was, I think it was roughly an hour 30. This is how I timed it all, using the podcast. So by the time I got back, it was at the end of the podcast. So the journey had taken me an hour 30, and it's okay, yeah, fine. The journey took a bit longer than expected, but it didn't. There was no traffic, and there was no traffic at all. And if anything, I thought, oh, that was pretty fast. So by the time I arrived home, I thought I have not been driving for an hour 30. I was like, it's impossible, because there was literally no traffic. It was like, I think it was like 8-9 o'clock at night, something like that. And so it was just, I literally flew home, and like, I've done that journey in 45 minutes before. And when there's no traffic, so it's like roughly just under an hour. But for it to take an hour and a half, I thought, what the hell's going on here? So I'd message you. It's like, I've just lost time. It was weird. So yeah, I'm sure there's a rational explanation for it. But yeah, that's my lost time story. It's a bit lame, but yeah.
No, it's like, it's cool, because for that to happen to you personally, that's like, that would be weirder than just telling the story,
There was no bright flashing lights or any any shit like any cool shit. It was just literally like, I thought...
You don't remember it because they've wiped your memory, obviously.
Shit, yeah. I better check my back for, like, scar marks and check my nose for, like, piercings. Yeah. So, back at the motel, Scully is typing her report on a proper-looking 90s word processor. Yeah. She takes a break to go and have a shower, and she notices something on his skin, which causes her to have a panic attack, and she sprints around to Mulder's room and asks him to check on her. As he checks, she discovers similar marks to the others, which he claims are just mosquito bites. Though within the episode, they are just mosquito bites, because Mulder says, I'm covered in them too. But I wasn't sure at first, so I was like, I thought, is he just being kind to her because she's scared and she's worried that she's got the same marks as these dying kids? And I thought, oh, he believes that it's aliens, but he's just trying to play it down so as not to worry her, because he's actually quite a nice dude. But then I realised, do you know what? If he thought that those marks were aliens, he'd be doing fucking cartwheels around that room. Scully, you've been kidnapped by aliens, woo! That's in his character.
He would. He'd be jumping on the bed and shit. But I think, obviously, it's entertaining and it's a little bit of a scare within the story, but I think it's to set up a little bit of sexual tension between them, because at one point they look like they're going to start kissing. And she's like showing off a lot of
she's ran around to his room just wearing her bra, so
yeah, and she's wet from the shower. It's very, very sexual.
And I'm glad they sort of downplay that for a long time, don't they? I think a lot of this sexual tension between them was like the fandom and the whole world. When are Mulder and Scully going to get together? But like a lot of that isn't in the show from what I remember, up until like the later seasons.
Later on, yeah. But they definitely implied it in this, because there's so many times where she looks at him and she looks like she's gagging for a probing, like. Yeah,
but he's probing. But he's not in. Mulder would rather be probed by an actual alien.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah. So this is where Mulder confides in Scully about the disappearance of his sister Samantha when he was younger. She just disappeared, and so he went off to study in Oxford, became an FBI agent, blah blah. It was his whole origin story. But Mulder has had hypnosis to unlock the memories of the night that Samantha disappeared, and he remembers a bright light coming through the windows and stealing his sister when he was a kid, which is something we will later see footage of, because they do actually film this scene quite a bit when the series gets picked up proper. I think I've seen this Samantha being abducted quite a few times when she comes back into the main story. So Mulder says that he's on a crusade to prove that aliens exist and find out what happened to his sister. There is two main motivations going forward. I feel like they did a really good job establishing the character in this episode, and so like making him seem quite warm. This episode is all about Mulder, basically.
Yeah, lore establishing, theme establishing, and it also establishes Scully quite well. It shows that she's the more not more intelligent, but she's the intelligent, kind of quiet, passive
down
type.
To earth,
skeptical. Yeah. So originally the idea was to make the man the skeptic, the man of the duo, the skeptic, and the woman agent, the believer. But they swapped it. And obviously, I'm glad they did, because
if I had a machine that could open up portals to other worlds, so I could see variations and convergences and divergences in history, things like that. I would definitely have to go to the world where the X-Files, where Scully is the conspiracy theorist and Mulder is the skeptic. I'd have to sit there and see that. Can you imagine if I jumped through the portal and brought back a DVD box set to this universe? I was like, I'll stick this on.
God, I would spend a whole 218 episodes watching it with you non-stop.
That's it. I wouldn't go back to see Who Shot JFK. I wouldn't go back to see The Crucifixion. No, I would bring back an X-Files box set.
Hell yeah.
So they receive a call from an anonymous source saying, get used to that in this series, saying that Peggy Odell, the girl in the wheelchair from earlier, has died. She's been hit by a truck, and the driver says that she was running across the road, which is impossible as she was confined to a wheelchair. Scully notices that her watch had stopped at 9:03, which was the time she was hit, and also the time that Mulder and Scully lost time earlier. The episode kicks up into a bit of a higher gear here, where somebody has stolen the alien monkey corpse from the morgue and set fire to their hotel room, destroying all the x-rays and all the pictures that Mulder took of Scully while she was working on it. And there is a cover-up going on. Now, get used to this as well, because a lot of times when they find quote-unquote definitive evidence of the aliens, it all gets stolen, robbed, burned in a fire. There is an active conspiracy to cover up the existence of aliens in this show.
Yeah.
So the doctor's daughter, who is the anonymous caller, meets up with them. She explains that her and her friends have been repeatedly abducted over the years, and that she has got the marks as well, these 2 little vampire teeth puncture marks. Yeah. She thinks she's going to be the next person murdered, but she can't say anything more because her dad and the sheriff from earlier arrive and sort of shut her up and force her off. And the sheriff is revealed to be the father of Billy, the kid in the waking coma. So,
I hated these two. Shut the fuck up. Let him do that.
I know, yeah. I know. That doctor is like, he's like, how dare you question my work? And that sheriff was like, get the fuck out of here, son. I don't care if you're FBI. FBI. Mulder decides to dig up the other graves in the middle of the night in the pissing rain. Like, he's fucking like, just the image of the two of them, like Igor and Frankenstein with shovels. Dig them up, Mulder, dig them up. Yes, master. Yeah, they open the graves and they find both graves are empty. So was just as Ray Soames' grave was, and I have no idea how Mulder does this, but he just deduces that Billy is the killer. Like, I don't know how he came to that conclusion. And then to remind us who Billy is, Scully's like, what, the vegetable guy? Like, fucking hell, Scully. Tact or what? Like, I know, yeah. Fucking the vegetable.
I suppose maybe you could say vegetable in 1993.
Vegetative state would be the word to see. The vegetable. So they go back to check on Billy, but then they find he's still a quote-unquote vegetable. Mulder is there, like, sort of questioning the nurse and sort of, like, flirting with her a bit to get answers, and she's basically telling him everything. And while Mulder's doing this, Scully is, like, fondling this body. She's, like, fiddling with Billy, like, poking him with sticks, like, bending his fingers back, like, you're sure you can't move? It's not very ethical, this.
She ends up giving him a foot massage and everything.
She scrapes something off his foot, which is the same powdery stuff that she found in the forest. So they return to the woods and to get a sample of the grey powder that they had earlier. When they arrive, they hear a girl scream and they run to the source of the scream, and Scully just gets KO'd by the sheriff wielding a shotgun. It's literally smack straight in the nose, and I was like, fucking hell, that's assault on a federal agent. That's like 5 years minimum.
Attempted murder, fucking hit in the head with a shotgun. That is like so dangerous.
Yeah, so the sheriff captures Mulder at gunpoint as well. So we get like the final. This is like the big sort of set piece of the episode.
Yeah.
So Billy, the vegetable, he is there, and he's got the doc's daughter, and it's sort of like the same imagery from the start of the film when Karen Swanson was when she died. We get the same swirling, windy vortex of light from the start of the episode. Gets really bright, but when it fades, both Billy and the doc's daughter are still there, and Billy is no longer in his vegetative state, and the little scars on his back, the markings, are now gone. Mm-hmm. Billy is taken into custody and recounts a story about how he was abducted and tested on and implanted with something. What did you think of this last sort of scene for the episode to sort of like... I suppose this is like the climax. What did you think?
I loved it, yeah. It didn't pull any punches. It showed pretty much exactly what had happened earlier on. It gives you all the answers, except for why did they leave them and restore him back to his normal self. The only thing that I thought of was maybe, let's say they are aliens, maybe that when they went to do it, there were other people there, meaning that they were being noticed, so they just left them alone and scarpered, basically. That's my idea of it.
Yeah, it's not really explained why why quote-unquote the aliens, because we don't know that the aliens are real yet. But why... I'm just going to fucking say it. The aliens are real in this show, so you don't know why they were left. You don't know why they left Billy and the doc's daughter behind. So I was a bit confused by that. But yeah, that's one of the unanswered questions. But we will be seeing Billy again down the line. He's a recurring character, so I'm sure we'll get to that. Back in HQ, Scully gives her report to her superiors, who are basically salivating to close the X-Files down. They're like, Agent Scully, what did he do? What did he do? Tell us what he did. She tells them that all the evidence of the body, the photographs, the X-rays, things like that, all the evidence was burned up in the motel fire, except Scully still has the implant that she took from the nose of the alien monkey, and she has it in her pocket. She's ran tests on it, and she states that the material could not be identified.
Her bosses are like, for fuck's sake, Scully, you're supposed to go there and disprove everything that Mulder's saying, not bring back 100% undisputed evidence of alien fucking technology. And she's just like,
yeah, she failed the brief, but yeah. But the thing is, though, she's not the type to... They've chose the wrong person, because they could choose any number of, like, chinless, spineless... anybody to just go and write reports that they want to hear like that. But I suppose Scully's got like credibility and like her word means something, so they've got to send her. And if she can disprove, she will. But then she's not going to do what they say. You know, she's not going to do it just because they've told her to. She's going to actually listen to all the evidence and be straight down the line with it, fair and balanced.
But I think they picked her because she does have like a passive nature. Or she appears to, and she can be quite easily not manipulated, but just bossed around. I think that's what they're going with, because she starts out as kind of meek and quiet, and
she's quite new as well. I think she's only been an FBI agent for like a year and a half at this point or something. 18 months. So Scully gets a call from Mulder, who tells her that all the paperwork for Billy's case has gone and it is being covered up. Not even thrown in the X-Files bin, it's just disappeared. But yeah, like I said, we will be seeing Billy Miles again in the future. Not really like a lot you can say about his performance, because he was a vegetable for most of the episode. So the episode ends with the smoking man, who... played by William B. Davis. He's been lurking in the background of all the scenes with the FBI guys, and he hasn't had any lines. He just sort of sits there like just constantly chain smoking and whispering in ears and just looking menacing, and fucking love it. Yeah, he will go on to become the series' main villain, as you were saying earlier, Paul. Go on, tell me what you were going to say earlier about him.
Oh, so he was initially hired to just be an extra as like this menacing looking guy who just stands in the background of the office smoking, leaning on the cabinet, and that was it. But obviously it tested really well with audiences, and they were like, okay, we're going to add him in a bit more. And then obviously as time went on, they were like bringing him back. And it's funny, the actor had not smoked for 20 years up until this point. And I mean, I don't know if he continued to be a smoker outside of work, but he definitely went back on that 20 years of smoke-free lungs to play this role. So.
However much he smoked in his early life, it was totally eclipsed by how much he smoked in this show. It's fucking constant. It's constant in this show. So the smoking man is seen entering the Pentagon basement, and he places the nose implant in a box with several others which are the same. God, I would love to know what is in that Pentagon basement. I'd love to have like an afternoon in there just rummaging through the boxes, pulling out laser guns and time machines and all that fucking cool shit. It'd be so cool.
It's not revealed it's the Pentagon until he closes the door, though, is it? And then it says like on a big poster on the door, it's like Pentagon, and it shows like the wing of where it is and all that kind of secret alien underground library in the Pentagon. Do not enter.
So that's the end of the episode. I have got some unanswered questions. I thought, what the hell was going on, basically? So, what happened to Ray Soames' body, and why was there a dead alien in his coffin? What happened at the end, and why? What did the aliens do? Did they just abandon Billy and the daughter? What happened with Peggy? Why did she just run out into the road and die? Why were Mulder and Scully missing time?
I could probably answer.
But you don't need answers to all this shit yet.
So my answer, might not be the right answers, but they're my answers. So first of all, Peggy running out into the road, she was being summoned, I would say, to the woods. She ran out in front of traffic in this hypnosis kind of state, gets run over. When Mulder's explaining to Scully his theory in the rain in the graveyard, one of them says that after they get the let's call them the vampire bite marks, their bodies mutate, I think she said, or he said. So I thought that's what the corpse was. It was a mutated human.
Okay. Yeah. Right, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Great start to the show.
Absolutely.
I thought this episode was pretty atmospheric. Definitely sets the tone. I did think the plot was a bit weak sometimes. It was a bit just like a bunch of UFO encounter stories just mashed together just for the sake of it. But I do think it worked. It didn't need to be. Yeah, it worked for what it was. Yeah.
I think obviously as a pilot they had to get in a bunch of shit that would make the studio want to continue with the story. So I think they got the right amount of telling us what's going on and the right amount of mystery, along with the character building and everything. I would rate this as a pilot specifically as well very highly. There aren't many pilots that would get me into a program as much as this. It's really fucking good.
Yeah. They had 45 minutes and they had to convey what they were wanting to convey just so they could get picked up by the network, and obviously it was a fucking success, so good for them. Enjoyed the episode. Really looking forward to this absolute odyssey of aliens and conspiracies we've got ahead of us.
I cannot wait. Would you like some trivia for this episode?
Go on, give me some trivia. Yes, please.
Play the jingle, baby. In the scene on the plane, the man who is sitting behind Scully is David Duchovny's father, Amram Duchovny.
Did not know that.
It gets better. The X-Files opening and closing theme music was not featured in this episode, which we have already discussed too. So obviously, on the next episode, that's when it's introduced, so we can talk about the iconic music and intro.
Yeah, we'll talk about the theme then.
Yeah. So another piece of trivia for you here. Network executives originally wanted a taller, this is quotations by the way, a taller, leggier, blonder, breastier actress for the role of Dana Scully. At one point in pre-production of the first season, Pamela Anderson was attached to the role. The other Anderson sister. But series creator Chris Carter, who wanted a more cerebral character instead of a more physical one, flatly rejected her. When auditions for the character were finally held, Gillian Anderson was one of the actresses who tested for the part. Carter lobbied for her to be picked, eventually going so far as to talk with her in secret to give her tips on how to get the part, which she was eventually awarded. Ironically, in 1996, Gillian Anderson was voted FHM magazine's sexiest woman in the world, with Pamela Anderson in comparison coming in at number 10. I mean, this is mental because in the 90s, Pamela Anderson was like fucking the hottest shit ever, you know? Well, not for me. I've actually had this conversation with my missus. She, like, because I don't really, you know, like a lot of people don't really fancy celebrities and that. I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
But I did say, as a kid, Gillian Anderson was the one, while everyone else in school was like talking about Pamela Anderson, I was talking about Gillian Anderson, you know. Way more my kind of thing.
I was a big Baywatch fan back in the day.
I wasn't. I don't think I was allowed to watch it because I think it was a bit slutty for me.
Slutty?
Yeah. It was definitely very sexual, wasn't it? Chris Carter finished putting the pilot together at 5 a.m, ready for screening to the Fox executives at 8 a.m. that same morning. Fortunately, his pilot was greeted with spontaneous applause from his audience. That's very cool.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to sleep, would you, the night before anyway, so you may as well be up, like, putting the finishing touches on it.
Yeah. The original script for this episode called for Mulder and Scully to howl at the moon at one point. DVD extras contain appearances by Scully's boyfriend Ethan. This character was dropped in order to create the famous mystique of having Mulder and Scully be apparently asexual. Nah, she has like a romantic interest like a few episodes in, doesn't she? I'll tell you what, I'll give you one more. It is rumoured that Mulder's office wall displays the infamous homecoming photo of Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks, a series in which David Duchovny had a prominent supporting role.
Good trivia.
Thanks.
I did not know that about Pamela Anderson, though. Can you imagine what a different universe we'd live in if Pamela Anderson was the lead in X-Files?
Well, when you were talking earlier about having an alternate reality version of X-Files where they have the opposite personalities, I was going to mention that, but then you didn't mention it, so I thought maybe he doesn't know it, so I'll save it for the trivia later on.
I did not know that. Can you imagine, though? I don't think the show would have... Well, the show definitely would not have done as well as it did, because it would have just been like probably seen as like a trashy action sort of show. But it takes fair fucks for Chris Carter to like not push for Pamela Anderson and go for somebody else instead. Yeah. Because you think he would just want to take the money and be like, right, yeah, that's it, load it down, never have to work again. Pamela Anderson TV show, biggest star of the 90s. So fair fucks to him.
The world would have been very different. Well, my world anyway.
So Paul, that's the pilot. First one down. Only 200 episodes to go.
And I'm looking forward to each one. And next time, I promise I won't drink loads of coffee and change hats while we're talking, because I was very distracted by that. I do apologise. I was trying to freak you out, though.
I noticed it, and I thought, no, I'm not going to mention it. I thought, no, I'll just have to mention it and get out of the way, and then he get it out of his system.
I thought this one would be the biggest one, because they're both the same hat, but they're different colours. I thought he's either going to...
I did notice, yeah.
I thought he's either going to buy into that and just be like, oh, maybe I saw it in the wrong colour, and then I was like, yeah, this is going to freak him out. Oh, goodness.
So, we'll be back next episode 2 of season 1, which is titled Deep Throats. So, looking forward to that one. We'll get more into the conspiracy, more into the flow of the show, I think, as we move along with this episode. Yeah, so... you excited to join me for that one, Paul?
I'm fucking dead excited. I want to go and watch it now. Like, I might even do that. I might get my projector. and just get it on the ceiling and just watch, because I'm just too excited for all of this, honestly.
Thank you very much. This has been
Thank you.
This has been the Dark Talk Files. Keep watching the skies. I mean skies.
You twat.